because a lot of this, basically the entire drama, is literally about Joey. Like, everything that kind of went down was because of Joey. I've been watching your stuff and I love it, dude. Like, just, you're one of the very few people that speak up on, like, basically the horse that is involved with Power Rangers, which is the weirdest thing to say, that there's like so much Power Rangers drama compared to other fandom.
All right, everybody. Today I am with an anonymous vendor who was at PMC, which is Power Morphicon 2024, and he is here to expose the drama. First and foremost, why do you want to come forward with this quote unquote drama from Power Morphicon?
Mostly because the events that kind of led up to Morphicon and the stuff that happened during Morphicon kind of sheds Morphicon in a bad light due to the actions of essentially just one individual, more so than the entire Morphicon collective.
And who is that one individual?
He's a guy by the name of Joey, who a lot of people might know is the guy that is, I guess, the social media manager of PMC, or the guy that did the PMC lives.
Before we get into Joey, how long have you been a vendor at Power Morphicon, or just cons in general?
In terms of Morphicon, I'm still fairly new. I don't really want to say how long I've been there due to not wanting to expose myself, but in terms of vending, I'd say about 5 years in terms of vending.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So you sent me a document which contains your notes. Would you rather me go through your notes, or would you just want a natural flowing conversation? I mean, we could do both.
We could do a natural flow. I think that kind of works best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, you've watched my content. What do you think of the content so far?
It's very entertaining. Just kind of getting the other side of the fandom perspective, basically. Things that people are generally afraid to say out loud are being said through your channel, which I find hilarious. The fact that people are afraid to talk about the stuff going on in the Ranger sphere, when it's the Ranger sphere of all things that they're afraid to talk about.
Well, you would have to admit, if the Ranger sphere wasn't so sensitive, where people speaking out or just exposing what most people already know behind the scenes wasn't so sensitive, you wouldn't be coming to me anonymously.
That is true, yeah. But I do have to think about my business as well, so.
Okay. So the Ranger community is pretty sensitive.
Yes.
All right, let's get into your notes that you've typed. I'll go line for line. PMC issues, aka Joey drama. Joey tried to have his hand in everything that he could. Panel topics, panels, scheduling, pass control, Ranger trivia, PMC live, panel hosting and hosts. Can you elaborate on that first part?
Panel topics, yeah. So, if you can kind of take a look at the PMC schedule that they had up, or still have up, you'll notice that a lot of the panels, like a huge majority of the panels, are fan-related panels instead of cast panels. This PMC, to my knowledge, of the PMCs I've been to in the past, has been probably one of the most filled in terms of guests. If I can recall correctly, it was, I want to say like over 100 different guests and vendors. And some of them had their entire cast show up. Most notably, the Cosmic Furies, the Dino Cosmic Furies, and the Jungle Furies, with the exception of their, I believe, Red Ranger. Their entire cast showed up. And with that, originally, there was no panel for either of the Fury seasons. Instead, they were fan-run, like a fan panel, or a panel that Joey set up, because he was in charge of the panel schedules and the panel topics. And from witnessing firsthand, at least when it came to the cosmic, like the Dino Cosmics, Tessa, the Green Ranger, was very upset in terms of why they didn't have a panel. And she was talking to her own cast along with the Jungle Fury cast as to, do you have, like, just asking whether or not they have a panel. And they all said no. And when she brought it up to someone, which I, was told was Joey, or someone that, reported to Joey, he said, no, we don't have time in the schedule. We can't have we don't have time to make a panel for you. Sorry. Both Tessa and Brandon, the Rangers International manager.
Brandon Benfield?
Yeah, Benfield, yeah. She went to Tessa along with a few other cast members. I'm not sure which one specifically, but Tessa for sure went to Brandon, which then both of them went to Scott, voicing their concerns of, why do we not have a panel when the entire cast is here? Especially when, for a few of them, it's their first ever PMC. Scott agreed on that and basically got rid of 2 panels in order to give a spot to Jungle Fury and the Dino Cosmics.
Okay. So they left her out. Scott tried to make it right and create a panel for her. I think that you did a good job explaining that portion. Now, what's with this PMC live drama? Idea originally conceived by Hawkeyes, but stolen by Joey. That's a huge accusation. Event hinted at in the Hawkeyes PMZ vlog. Recap 3150. Never happened due to Joey not even reserving the right equipment. So no equipment at all. Reportedly a common occurrence told by a few people who pitched potential ideas to Joey to present. Joey ends up taking credit for it, but either ends up being executed poorly or not at all due to not properly pitching it because of his idea. Can you elaborate on this PMC live drama?
Yeah, so as those that attend PMC or leading up to PMC know, there was basically the Twitch channel for Power Morphicon, the PMC Live. And then what was supposed to happen during the convention was similar to how a lot of conventions have, where there's like essentially like a live news coverage of PMC, just like hosts and moderators walking around the floor to kind of interview live interview the guests along with vendors and guests or like attendees to just kind of like show the experience as to what PMC is like. And that was, again, like you read in the notes, Hawk's idea. That his channel is Hawkeyes, and he even mentioned it in his, like, kind of hinted towards it in his video, most recent video of Morphicon, where he pitched the idea. And then, why was he not the one in charge of it rather than, Joey?
Okay, so Hawkeyes.
All right, main event time. Y'all ready?
Pitches the idea. Joey takes the idea and now destroys the idea.
Basically, yeah. So from when I talked to the guys that were supposed to, there were supposed to be 3 of them that's supposed to, be the host of each day, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And I talked to them, like, hey, what's going on with PMC Live? Like, where's, why aren't you guys filming? Why are you guys live streaming? None of that. I would love to, see my booth on live, but, none of that happened. And they said they don't know. I talked to a few people. They're like, oh yeah, like the equipment was never reserved. And I'm like, why was the equipment never reserved? Like, this was one of the most hyped things about quote unquote PMC Live. And Joey being in charge of it, it's like, oh, hey, what happened to the equipment? No one knows. No one knows except Joey. Because he's the one that's supposed to be in charge of it. So why didn't he get the equipment? Because they said that they never got the equipment.
Okay. All right. I mean, this seems a little low end drama, but drama nonetheless. I'll have to reach out to Hercules and Joey. Panel dramas.
So we kind of covered a little bit of it regarding the Dino Cosmics and the Jungle Fury cast, and there have been a lot of change-ups, and you even see on the PMC website on the day of, which they posted the panel schedule revised Saturday morning, Friday night of PMC. It's like, oh hey, we added or changed up these panels. The most evident one is going to be the Jungle Fury and the Dino Cosmic panel. And yeah, both of them were, so both panels were last minute scheduled. In terms of the Dino Cosmic panel, I know for a fact that this one was basically modded by an attendee who happens to be a YouTuber. Yeah, so he was just there as an attendee. And they're like, oh, we don't have a mod because this kind of leads up to the main thing at the end, which is Joey quitting, because he quit Morphicon basically, I believe it was Thursday or end of Thursday or beginning of Friday. Basically, he quits on the spot due to a lot of things stacking up. But basically, he kind of put himself in a lot of panels as the moderator. And because of that, as you see, even after the changes, his name's still on there. I believe it's 3 right now, but his name was on more panels than that earlier. So after he quit, basically they are left with no moderator, no nothing. And in terms of the Dino Cosmic, like I was saying earlier, they grabbed an attendee that was a fan and a YouTuber that the staff was familiar with. It's like, hey, we're like, you want to help us out and moderate the Dino Cosmic panel? He agreed, and as with a lot of attendees, they will even I was at a few of the panels, they will say that the panels were mid, mostly because not a lot of questions were prepared because they were prepared by Joey, but because Joey wasn't there anymore, it kind of was just kind of Wild West. Went straight to Q&As early on, and no structure.
Okay, so he took his questions when he quit?
Yeah.
Wow. And he quit on Thursday?
Yeah, either Thursday or beginning of Friday, like right before doors open.
All right, wow. I mean, that is unfortunate. He would just leave him high and dry. It must have been very serious reason why he would leave such a esteemed event early and quit like that, don't you think?
Yes and no. So in terms of everything, obviously, when it came to the Dino Cosmics and the Jungle Fury panels getting greenlit by Scott, there were a few people around, which I have confirmed through them, that Joey was visibly upset that his head was gone over. That, something was approved without his knowledge. Which doesn't really make any sense because Scott's the owner of PMC, so he has final say. So why would Joey be upset about that?
I have no idea. All right, so now maybe I'm jumping ahead that Toku Spirit's acts were given all access passes without Joey's permission or heads up. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, so this was basically kind of the straw that caused Joey to quit. So obviously, in terms of Toku Spirits, they are their own thing that's done within Morphicon. And they have their own staff that handles all the Japanese guests. And because of the Japanese guests having the whole language barrier, they need someone with them at all times. And their staff needs an all-access pass to make sure that, hey, everywhere they go, we can access as well. That way we can be there to kind of help them with things that they need when it comes to the language barrier or just trying to get, something simple as like water, like getting it from the green room, as an example, right? And the guy that I spoke to, who was the one that was getting the passes, he was supposed to be, he went to Scott, asked him to be like, hey, we need these passes for all of our staff. We're not going to abuse them. We just need them to ensure that, all our Japanese guests, the Toku guests, are handled properly. And Scott's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, that makes total sense. No complaints there. So that guy goes to the front desk to get the all access passes. Joey is apparently there, according to my vendor friends, because it was out in the lobby area. And I'm not sure why he was there or why he was in control of it, because he was supposed to be like doing the whole like event stuff, not ticket sales. He sees the guy, which I guess based off of my interaction with the guy that was getting the passes, there's some sort of personal issue between them that's not any of my business, but there is apparently a personal issue between them. Which Joey was, saying what's going on here. He explains what's the situation, trying to get the passes. Joey's like, no, like, we can't allow that. I'm not allowing that at all. Which, the guy, throws in the Scott card. It's like, hey, Scott said it was fine, and he understands why. We just need the passes. Joey, hard stance, no. So then the guy grabs Scott from Scott's busy schedule, trying to like make sure everything runs fine, to the front desk to be like, hey, Scott, can you like let Joey know that like you approved of these all access passes? And Scott comes, he approves it, and that's when Joey basically kind of throws his little tantrum and just thinks that he's being taken advantage of.
Wait, what do you mean?
Why would Joey think he's being taken advantage of if they're just given all access passes, which literally cost nothing for Joey, nothing for Scott?
Yeah, so in terms of why he thinks he's being taken advantage of, it's kind of a mix from what I've been told of his ideas that he wanted to try for Morphicon, the panel changes, basically being told no to a lot of his ideas, or supposed his ideas. Like, some of them were approved. Obviously, PMC Live was approved up until a point. And then it was just a lot of getting no's, to my knowledge. Where it's like, no, we can't do this, we can't do that, which kind of stacked on, Joey's like, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And, at the end of the day, it's kind of, one, logistics, but also it's Scott's convention. Like, he kind of needs to make sure that everything runs the way that it needs to run, not the way that, Joey wants to run it.
This is true. I'm with, me and Scott. I guess we had our differences, over his support for Austin St. John, but at the end of the day, he is the boss of PMC. So whatever he says is supposed to go. He is the final decision maker. Now, if Joey didn't agree with that decision, fine, but it's noted. But at the end of the day, it's Scott's con. It's Scott's event.
Exactly.
Do you think Joey took ownership of the event? Like, maybe he thought he had more say than he did? Like, what's the current relationship with him and Scott?
So in terms of the current relationship between him and Scott, essentially after he quit, which was on Fridays. Now that I'm seeing my notes again, it was on a Friday. Basically, the next day, Saturday. From what I've been told by a completely different source, is that he texted Scott saying, it's like, hey, can I come back as an attendee? Which Scott said, no. Like, how you handled things was very unprofessional, and we're not letting you in. Whether or not it's coming back to just this PMC or PMC's moving forward until further notice, I'm not entirely sure. But he's no longer on the staff. There's bad blood between Scott and Joey because of what Joey did, or everything that led up to this, and some after. But yeah, and what's weird about that is that I saw Joey in the convention center on Sunday. Whether or not, Scott allowed it, I'm not sure, or he snuck in. Who knows? Because Joey is still relatively connected within the Ranger space, so he knows people to kind of, help him out. But that's just speculation.
Okay. All right. Wow. Let me make sure we went through everything. Now, Joey's current state is complaining to anyone who is willing to listen and take his side. Has he done any interviews with anyone?
No, he's just been complaining on those Instagram bubbles. When you go into like the Instagram messages, there's little like quotes or bubbles. He's just kind of been like making like short, like subtle shades through that.
I'm gonna have to reach out to him to see if he wants to give his side of the story or if he wants to talk at all. Do you think he's going to want to talk and cut an interview, or just basically mob behind the scenes?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I don't know him that well personally. I know him through reputation and a few interactions. And from what I can tell, he, might want to kind of speak out on his side of things. Kind of like, what I said in my notes is that we're trying to basically complain to anyone that will listen.
All right. Well, it looks like we have covered everything in a nutshell that is in your notes. Was there anything else? How did Austin St. John end up on the Once and Always panel? Do you know about that?
That I don't know. Unfortunately, I was working during that time, but I did see the video of him crashing on your channel. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, we're big fans of Austin St. John here on the Henry Resilient channel and on the Clips channel. We really love that guy. He's our favorite Ranger. So we really like to support him anytime he does goofy-ish. But anyway, anything else that you want to bring up that maybe is not in your notes? Did you meet any of the people from the Resilient Army? Did you see Brent out there? Any other drama per se that you observed out there?
No, never met Brent. Honestly, didn't know who he was until I started watching your channel, which was after PMC. So whether or not I did meet him, I probably didn't remember his face, or he never stopped by my booth. But yeah, I think everything kind of covers it. There was like the Ranger trivia thing, which kind of falls in line with the whole Q&A, because there was supposed to be like an after-hours Ranger trivia, which again he was in charge of, and then because he quit, Ranger trivia had to kind of be like shotgun together.
Oh, okay. So he called the bar that it was supposed to be at, but never reserved or confirmed a reservation, leaving people confused if what was happening at the bar had another private event reserved and scheduled at the same time. Bar was fortunately able to push back the private event as the event called saying they were running late as trivia was supposed to start. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and I was there for that entire thing, in terms of like showing up to the bar and doing the trivia itself. The guy that ended up doing it didn't do too bad of a job, considering he had, I want to say, like 10 to 15 minutes to get some questions together, and a lot of them were like really tough, honestly. Like he just kind of like grabbed them from the top of his head and maybe use the internet here and there, but like a lot of them were actually pretty challenging for just an on-the-spot thing.
Well, man, any other Ranger drama that maybe didn't happen at PMC that, that comes to mind, something crazy that you've seen over the years of vending for these events?
There's an interesting amount of religion and political stuff, which I don't want to really get into because that's way too messy. But in terms of Dan Ewing, because like you and they talked about, he was definitely inebriated when he went to my booth as well. So he was definitely having some fun during PMC. And I can't fault the guy, man. Like, I would too if I wasn't working. Like, I would just like try and party it up. I'm in another country and with a bunch of fans. So,
Allegedly, there is a tape of him drunk at PMC that has been recorded, but they will not release it.
ooh,
Anything on my content that has shocked you that you didn't know prior to stumbling across my channels?
I guess the whole Legend of the White Dragon stuff, man. Like, along with what was that other one that they were trying to do like a whole fan film of?
Karen Ashley's The Order.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, like I've heard about them, and I'm just like, okay, these are just fan films of stuff with actual Power Rangers in them, and after how many years now, they've never seen the light of day.
The order is never ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is.
Oh yeah. I knew that one. Yeah, I remember seeing that one, and then the whole. But I mostly watched the Legend of the White Dragon stuff because, I never got to meet JDF, and you know, no hate against him or any of his family. I just never like was a fan of Tommy. Not in the negative way. I was just like he never vibed with me. That's all it was. And the whole situation behind the delays and everything, trying to get it released or emphasis on trying to get it released is just baffling to me.
Well, you know, the interesting part is, according to Aaron, everything is done and all this other good stuff, and it's just off the sound and editing. But he did release something today where it's basically two of the actors like, hey,
David Ramsey, aka
we're in the studio just doing some ADR for the movie. I'm like, wait. I thought it was finished, man. You said it was finished. Why are people coming back to do ADR? And I'm sure he'll be like, well, we just want to make sure it's perfect for Jason. But
Well, that means
wait, hold on. It was finished it was finished before JDF's passing. Which is like, all right, cool, right?
To be
Or
fair,
no?
it was 98% finished when Jason passed, and then reshoots. And then now today it's two actors doing some ADR for the movie, which on the Kickstarter and not too long ago, he was like, oh, everything's done. We're just sending it off for color correction and all this other crap. And it to be finished. So he said filming was done. Maybe ADR is not done. You know, he's a semantics guy. So I have no idea when it's coming out, man, to say that.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add?
No, man, keep it up. Like, report on the drama because everyone's afraid to talk about it.
Well, here's the thing. I have no interest in going to Power Morphicon, Ranger Stop, or hosting a panel or interviewing one of these actors with some fluff or, you know, any BS like that. So it's easily for me to call them out, to hold them accountable, say, hey, they doing something wrong, or, you know, expose Power Rangers stories. Whereas others, they want that interview. They want to be on that panel. They want Joey's spot. They want to be integrated into these conventions and invited and given press passes. So because they want to do all that, they can't speak their mind.
Yeah, no, he legit threw a tantrum. Like, there were witnesses that day.
so banned.
Oh, you're not banned.
Because I was banned from Ranger Stop.
Oh, real? Dude, I know a lot of people banned from Ranger Stop, man. So many people.
Why do people just get banned from Ranger Stop?
I don't know. Whoever runs Ranger Stop is sensitive. I've never been because that's just way too much travel for me to do, like, to vend at a Ranger convention. It's just like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I got banned, lifetime ban, but you know, the ironic thing is it'll be over by like next year. So they're like, oh, we're done, guys. We did all we could, but it's for sale if you want to buy it, but we're done.
A few moments later.
Okay.
What do you know about me? What have you heard about me?
I've literally just got off of probably about a 30-minute call some serious. I mean, they're minor allegations. They're not accusing you of PPP fraud or anything like that. So it's more so how things happen at Power Morphicon.